Hey everybody, welcome back to the AI versus HI podcast, where we discuss artificial intelligence in real estate and when in certain situations it's better or complementary to have a human touch. Today we're going to talk about hyperlocal knowledge and how that's interpreted in AI. And I think that's interesting because of the way AI is trained or the way it learns, right? It's pulling all this data and making these correlations. But when you get hyper-local, and I think you mentioned this before too, sometimes it could be cultural, it could be municipality, a specific way things are done in a certain area that I just don't think you're necessarily going to get that from AI.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. So AI is doing a great job of presenting data to prospective consumers. Let's take a buyer, for example. Yeah. They want to know which one of these buildings in this particular street, let's call them high rises. And let's pick Royal Oak, for example. Which one of these high rises is going to be the best value for me and my family based on whatever? AI didn't have the ability to go in and have conversations with people who are currently living in those buildings and find out that unit 6XXXXX is going to be coming into the market because of a job change or because of a death or because of whatever. Yeah. That sort of hyper-local information about one specific building is vital. The other thing that it can't do is to have conversations in real time with people who are living in these buildings and saying, hey, what's been going on with your HOA? I thought that there was going to be a special assessment coming up. Is there any further conversation about that? That kind of information could really swing your client's perception of whether they want to go after a specific property or not. Yeah. That sort of very soft information is important. The other part of the equation is, hey, how do you like your homeowners association? Tell me, how do they act? Are they really flexible? Oh yeah, these are great people. We have Halloween parties. The kids are all playing in the streets, whatever it is. Right. Versus, oh man, we got this one dude on the board and he is trouble and there's litigation being threatened. And you really want to have that hyper-local HI, that human intelligence, to be able to deliver value to you when you're getting ready to make a decision about, do I want to really live in this location? Does it fit for me and for what I'm trying to do in real estate?
Yeah, and I think to your point, of the way AI learns, right? It's a collection of data, and these things aren't necessarily commodities, right? They're not. Right. People are not going down there leaving reviews for this, that, and the other, and sometimes the only way to get that information is to have a conversation with somebody who went through it.
Yeah, conversation, but also local market knowledge. We just had a long conversation about this today. There are probably 100 different builders who have built homes in Southeast Michigan over the last, say, 50 years. More than 100, I'm guessing. And each one of them has a different level of quality.
Right.
So I was in a neighborhood this afternoon, and a large builder who's been around for decades built this development in the early 1970s. And by knowing what was the level of quality of construction at that time, from that particular builder, we could provide value to our clients saying, you know what, I know that the corridors are going to be 36 inches wide in this house. The basement's going to be relatively small. It's kind of a big wind box. So when we go in, we really kind of know what we have in our hands. So it's not just, the local gossip, what's going on with the HOA, what's going on with somebody losing a job or getting a divorce, but it's also to have local knowledge about not just the builders, but also what types of homes were being built during that period.
Right.
Something simple. Right after the Great Depression, there wasn't a lot of money running around. So the types of homes that were being built in certain neighborhoods were kind of rudimentary, and the quality of the materials wasn't what it could have been if we were looking at homes that were built, let's say, 1947 through 1968, something like that. Yeah. Those particular time periods, you're going to have an understanding of what the building standards were and what the trends and what was going on with the economy to be able to deliver value. And that hyper-local knowledge sometimes goes from this side of the street to that side of the street. Yeah. Oh man, on that side of the tracks, guess what? The homes were built in the 1930s. Yeah. On that side of the track, they were built in the post-war, right? And so one block away can have completely different levels of construction and different types of occupants. So it's HI.
Yeah.
It's and indispensable.
I'm glad you brought that because it reminded me when I was building my house, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look up the builder, right?
Sure.
See what they are. But I went further into looking into the city. The city had a certain minimums or requirements. So I actually end up getting more value out of the same builder because the city forced them to do certain things with respect to the space of the homes and this and a few other things. And, had you just looked up the builder, I could have made a decision to or not to do something and walked away from something great. In my case, it worked in my favor. On the opposite case, it could work against somebody. So, that's just...
Case in point, you had to use HI, right? You had to dig into it and use your brain and
My
kind of
own
evaluate
HI.
your own HI.
Yeah.
Adrian HI.
Yeah. Awesome. That's another great example where I think the two can be complementary. So thanks again, Tim, for
Thanks,
your
Adrian.
thoughts. Yep.